Round 2. Happy Friday early evening. Yes, I have been waiting, 4 days for the lecithin. I got the name right. And it came in about an hour ago, and I was like, hold the presses. We're about to bake bread. I promised I was going to bring y'all with me. Now, I could have done this yesterday, but I'm so excited that I was like, we making bread at 4 o'clock in the evening, like p.m. Hey, y'all, it's Lippy for the ones that may find this video. So I did cheat and do one step. Just one step. I did meal 3 cups of hard white wheat. And they're sitting in here, or the flour's sitting in here. I did that a good 30 minutes ago. Because if y'all remember, a few days ago, my first experience, I felt like the flour needed to rest. Now, I don't know if that's true or not true, but my mind tells me. Because I'm pulling my experience from standard bread making using store-bought bread flour, all-purpose flour. So my mind says this was very hot when the first time that I milled the grain a few days ago. And I showed you guys. And I said, let it rest. Well, that's what I've done. I've let it rest. So now we're going to proceed. Now, this won't be a long drawn out. I will tell you in advance. I'm not cutting anything out. But instead of drawing it out, each step I take, that segment of the video will be left in. So it's going to be very easy for you guys to follow along. This is a different recipe. I kind of took from 2, okay? But I was told about a channel called Grain and Grits. Lovely lady. Got a lot of information. Way more than I can absorb right now. But a lot of information. So I thank you all that sent me in her direction. So I can't take honor of this recipe. This is her recipe, as well as Bread Becker's. Yeah, I combined the 2. There's something about following a direct recipe Lippy can't do. I don't know. But it's really her recipe, and I'm kind of tweaking it, okay? But Grain and Grits is the YouTube channel, and she does have a website. Very informative. I actually relate to her. I like the way she explains. For me personally, I'm able to absorb it and really get the gist of it. So, yeah, let's make our second loaf of bread. And I will be using the Pullman pan. Remember, I'm going for sunbeam bread, minus the pretty snow white color. Now, I did mill 3 cups of hard white wheat. I'm not sure I said it, and I didn't want to go back to see. So this 3 cups of hard white wheat yielded me this much. How much is that? I don't have a clue. We're starting off with 2 cups of warm water. This is right out of the tap. And I'm at 111, 112, which is perfect. I like my water for any bread recipe I'm doing between 110 and 115 degrees Fahrenheit. We're at 112.6, so we're perfect. So 2 cups, of warm tap water. Okay, we're gonna add 1 tablespoon plus 1/4 of active yeast. This is the quick rise. Whether it's active, instant, you're still gonna have to do this step because we're gonna have to let this rest here in a minute. But that was 1 tablespoon plus 1/4 tablespoon yeast. Now, because yeast likes sugar, and I am using honey in this recipe, I found out that the honey also helps soften the bread. I've got honey in this cup, and I'm just gonna add 1/2 teaspoon, maybe a little bit more. What I'm doing is I'm giving the yeast something to feed on. But I had already measured out my honey and oil, so I just borrowed from it. I'm adding 1 cup of our flour. Okay, that's perfect. Well and combined. We're gonna let this rest 20 minutes. We want to ensure that that yeast will bloom. It also, again, allows our fresh milled grain, which is flour, to rest. Just like I let, when I milled it, rest a good 30 minutes. I might have went 35, 40, okay? I'm seeing with what I'm reading, taking these few little steps and allowing it to rest yields us a much better quality bread, okay? So, in 20 minutes, I'll meet you back here. Again, I'm doing everything in my KitchenAid mixing bowl because it's gonna go to the mixer. We're not dirtying up many instruments. I think this is gonna be the one. I don't know. I can hope. Can y'all see right here where I'm pointing? It's literally burping. Our yeast is active. Look at that bubble. And doing great. It is well and bloomed. In here, I have 1/4 cup avocado oil. You can use olive oil, vegetable oil, but I've got 1/4 cup and 1/4 cup honey, which yields me a 1/2 cup. This is what I stole that little bit of honey out of. I'm choosing the honey, even though I hope it doesn't make it too much honey taste. It says it helps it to soften the bread. Now, everything I read where I messed up, I added too much flour all at one time. We started with 1 cup. Remember to let it bloom. And we're gonna go in with just 2 more cups of our flour, which will give us 3 cups of flour. And we're gonna have to add more over at the mixer as we need it. So now we've got 3 cups of flour. I'm adding a teaspoon and a 1/2 of salt. And here comes the star of the show. Let's see if this makes a difference. It says I need 2 tablespoons. Oh, good, you can see. Now, from what I've read, we're only going to add about 1/4 of a cup of flour at a time, just till the dough pulls from the sides. As soon as it pulls from the sides, you stop adding the flour. So you see, the first time I did it, I messed up. I added what the recipe said. And from what I understand from the young lady at Grain and Grits, it depends on the weather. I knew that making traditional bread. So we're going to follow her instructions and we're going to see, because right now we have 3 cups of milled flour. I am going to start off on a 1 and I'm going to leave it there till we see where we're at. I can already tell that that's not enough flour, so I'm going to add 1/4 of a cup. Okay, do you see how it's starting to tighten up and it's wanting to pull? I am going to stop there, okay? That was 4.5 cups of flour. I let it go 8 minutes and it is beautiful. That's how much flour I had left. I'm talking about, I barely made it, guys, but that's how much, just in case we need some, but I don't think we will. Now, I could put flour on my hands, but I'm going to put a little bit of avocado oil, okay? And I know I am backwards to you guys, but I'm left-handed. And I'm still working really with one hand, so forgive me. Oh, yeah, that feels really good. That does feel good. Tell you what, I am going to put just a little bit I'm just patting it, as you can see in the camera, just so I can work with it. Oh, yeah. I really could have let it go a little bit more, but it's not tearing on me, and I wanted to stop. Oh, yeah, I'm having to pull a lot for it to tear. So, I am happy with that. Now, I wasn't going to do this, but I think I am. I need 2 pounds of dough for my Pullman pan. We're going to just see how accurate. There we go. We're just going to see, guys. Ooh, I'm glad I did that. That's 3 pounds of dough. Whoa, that's way too much dough. So, that was the perfect measurement for me. Now, I've got to get it to the size, and I'm going to do a rectangle to my Pullman pan. Okay, I rolled it out to the length of the Pullman pan. Now, what I was shown, or should I say what I watched, which made all the sense in the world, is to make it into a jelly roll. And I was thinking, well, that doesn't make sense. Well, it does, because what it's going to do, the way we're going to fold it, is going to ensure that we don't have air pockets. Okay, let me move this out of the way for right now. We're going to bring this one up over. Well, that's pretty, guys. We may be onto something. We may be onto something. Now, it says make it into a jelly roll, because there's a little technique to tucking it. And you see I'm pulling it because I'm stretching it. I want to make sure I get no air pockets in this. It's a little bit sticky. I want that. I'm trying to have the softest bread I can get. That little bit of flour is not going to hurt. Just a little bit on my hands. Okay. You see how it looks like a jelly roll? Well, the young lady, I wish I could remember her name, at Grain and Grits. It was a technique she used, and we're going to try it. She took from the top, I hope I can do this with this hand and thumb, and she folded this over. Ooh, this is going to be hard for my hand, but we're going to make it work. She folded that over, okay? But we're not through yet. Who needs physical therapy? Y'all, we just make bread. We get all the therapy we need. And then we tucked it under, okay? Now, she wanted to make sure that the seam was together. Well, I'm not sure about her technique, but the way I'm going to do it. And guys, you realize what I just did? I just got it ready for a regular loaf pan. Okay, so that's fine. It's not going to hurt anything. Oh, boy, Lippy. Totally forgot I was using the Pullman pan, so this is what I'm going to do. It is not going to hurt anything. That's some beautiful dough. I will say it is absolutely beautiful. So I've got to get that jelly roll out of this, as much air as I can, because it's going to expand, but I can't have this much dough sitting in the center of that Pullman pan. So we're going to do it Lippy's way and see, because that's not going to work for a Pullman pan. It just dawned on me she was using a regular bread pan, which I was fixing to tuck and roll it towards me, but I'm not using a regular bread pan. I don't want to do that till I perfect this recipe for the Pullman pan. So we're just gonna, because this doesn't hurt the dough, guys. It's just relaxing it, which is fine. All right, I am just gonna roll it. And when I was rolling it a while ago, that's where I should have stopped and started pulling it towards myself. But I was following what she said, but that's for a loaf pan. I'm going to tuck the ends under. I'm going to pinch my bottom, but I'm not stopping there. Now I'm going to work it just like if I was doing regular bread. All right, I know, oh, that hurts. I normally pull towards me, and for some reason, it does help. See, as I pull, I'm going forward. I'm pulling, going forward. And to me, it does help with that seam. Did I measure it right? Pretty good. Okay. Now, I am going to kind of flatten it. Not much. I'm not being heavy-handed. It may look it, but I'm not being heavy-handed. I'm just trying to get it shaped somewhat for this pan. Okay, we're going to get this on. And I'm going to leave it vented. And I'm going to set it on top of the stove, vented about 3 inches, 30 to 35 minutes. My oven is already preheated. So just that residual heat's going to help it. Gives me time to clean up. But guys, I almost panicked just then because I was literally rolling it like she did, which made all the sense. But that's for a standard loaf. The Pullman, no, I wouldn't be able to do that. So because I put so much air into it, it was really hard to get that long tube. So we're going to see. If it's oddball on the ends, I'm fine with that. Because right now we're trying to get the taste and the texture. That's what we're aiming for. I can work on the pretty later. So on top of the oven, and I will see y'all 30 to 35 minutes. It needs to rise 3/4 of the way. Actually, it took 45 minutes, but we ended up with 8 rolls. And our bread has risen. It needs to rise a little bit more. But guys, it's getting late in the evening. I want to go ahead and bake it off. Friends, look at these beautiful rolls. Yes, they have a sheen because you can't have rolls without butter. I know it's late, so the video is going to post in the morning, Saturday morning. So when you see this, please know it is Saturday morning. Now, you remember the extra dough? I just showed you the results of the rolls. Let me show you this. There is 3 missing. I had 1, Buddy had 2. And let me just say, he gave it 100%. Guys, I was almost in tears. 100%. Now, before we get into the loaf, I am going to open one of these up because I just want you to see it, okay? Because I just took the loaf out. I temped it at $1.95, so I pulled it out at $1.95. But we got to test this. I can't eat another roll. I've already had 1, but maybe if I have half and he has half. I did it, guys. Well, I did it on the rolls. But I got a feeling that I did it on the bread too. While the loaf is sitting here on a cooling rack, the lid is on. Actually, I need to pull the lid off. Hang on, I don't want it to sweat. Okay, the lid's off because I got to get it out of this pan. I don't want it to sweat. But here you go. Here's the bottom. I had to get Buddy to help tear it. I really want y'all to see this. It's incredible. Like I said, this is your store-bought white bread minus the bleached color, white. I want y'all to look at this. Like, I'm going to take a bite, and I want y'all to see, I'm going to try to take a bite and to hurry up and turn it around so you can see it sponge up. Did it show on camera? It sponged up, guys. I promise you it did, because Buddy was playing with it. He's on a phone call, but hopefully he'll be off and he can come in. But I'm going to drop it because we've got to get this loaf out. I don't want it to sweat. I'm actually got a heart thumping. So I'm going to rewrite the recipe. And before I post, I'm going to actually put my, I guess I can call it mine since I took two and put it together, in the description. This is incredible. Okay, I'm going to try and do this. There we go. All right. Now, I also was seeing how they have it on its side. That's because if I was to tilt it up, as it cools, it can compress down. So I'm going to hold it up for you to see what it looks like. And do you see that little bevel? Whoops. You see that little indentation right here? That's because I pulled it out when I was testing it. I had left a little crack. Not a big deal. It doesn't bother me about the indentation. But I'm going to leave it on its side and let it cool. This is where you don't want to cut the bread. Slice it. I don't know what that was flying. And hopefully Buddy will be off of his phone call. It's a work call. And this will hurry up and cool. As in hurry up. It's cool in the house. And we're going to give it a couple of slices. And I did save, because my little bread bags and bread box hasn't come in yet. But I saved the Sunbeam wrapper on purpose to put this loaf of bread in. It's not as tall. That's because, if y'all remember, I needed to let it rise another 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 inch. But I was determined to get it in the oven. So moving forward, I'll know about rising more in that Pullman pan. But guys, it looks like the Sunbeam loaf. Other than the color, it's just, look at this. It's just, I did not think that the second round was going to just do this well. I cannot thank my friend enough for gifting us this Wonder Meal and entrusting Lippy to understand some of the science. I don't need to know all of it, guys. I'm where I need to be, and I'm going to keep learning some more, yes. But as far as the recipe, I'm not changing what I just did. There's no need to. I don't need to try another recipe. According to Buddy, I nailed it, at least in the roll. The verdict's still out, but I'm going to hold this camera on because I want him to give his true testimony to the loaf of bread. This is a good day.
If you had a finger on the back side.
Could you have seen Lippy with that electric knife cutting bread?
You can do it.
I don't know if I'd have got them even though, like that. Okay,
well, they ain't all together, but I'm going to split that in half. Just hang on to it. It'll be all right. I'm going to go right there and go right down through it.
Okay. We did it. Oh.
It is beautiful, I'll tell you.
Look at that, guys. Now, moment of truth.
Oh, my goodness. Ooh.
All right, now, you were on a business call.
Here comes the deal.
But tell them, I'm not saying anything, tell them what your thoughts of the rolls and, of course, the bread. But
probably the best I've had in, like, almost forever. I'm going to tell you. I'm actually on a fat boy diet. I'm not a better, but I'm on a fat boy diet right now. Bet with
but did this
some guys
like
at work. But
diet?
I did not hesitate none. I'm just gonna lie. I'm gonna go ahead and lie to you.
What?
It was the worst thing I ever had.
Buddy!
I'm just lying to you.
Oh, you're lying to me.
Because actually it was the best thing I ever had. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I can't believe it.
Really,
I can't believe it.
I didn't hesitate. I'm on a fat boy bet, diet, whatever, but I didn't hesitate. I told her, I said, bring me another one of them rolls.
So will we ever buy sunbeam bread again?
No, I'm not planning on it.
I told y'all. Now
Okay.
He's gonna have to help
I'm
me.
gonna try to
Hang on, I'm gonna
compress
show
this. Okay, and we're gonna get that started. I want to keep it together. Try to.
Oh.
So I want to kind of hold a little pressure right here, and you just kind of pull the bottom of it.
All right, let me
See
use
if you
these
can
fingers.
slide it down.
Can't use the thumb,
See if
but
you can just slide it along. I'm just gonna kind of hold a little pressure on this end.
okay.
Try to keep the loaf together. And once we get it in there, okay, now.
What I do?
Oh, what you got? I'm
Okay.
gonna pick it up and bring it here.
Okay.
Now,
What I do?
I'm gonna turn it around where you can get it that way.
Okay.
I'm gonna hold this in. You just kind of pull the bread loaf bag. Just slide it, and I'm gonna kind of hold the loaf together and slide it. Loaf intact. You got a bread tie? If not, I'm gonna put a loaf.
No, I think I threw it away.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna put a little old half hitch. Put that in there where we can kind of pull it out, you know.
We did it, y'all.
I ain't mad at you. I'm just gonna get that and pull it up.
Okay, all I gotta do
Let
is
that
clean up
do.
this little cutting board and
Then you just get this little tassel right here and pull it, and it'll be good to go. But I mean, that's
not heavy. It's like, except the ends are a little tight. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the ends are a little crusty. But some people like the ends.
I promise you, I can soften that up with some butter.
Guys, I did it.
I promise you, I can soften that up
Now,
with some
this
butter.
is not advertisement to Sunbeam, because this is definitely not Sunbeam.
It ain't sunbeam, I promise you.
But
It's good.
it's good. And I hope y'all try my recipe, whoever's out there that's milling. I'm shocked. I really thought it was going to take me many, many tries. God was with me. I was picking up vibes, and I took all of your grateful hints and tips in the comments. And this belongs to all of us, guys.
Hey, guess what?
Never say you cannot do it. You only fail if you don't try, right, buddy?
That's right, but you're only one problem.
What's that?
I already got a couple people you need to make some loaves for.
Oh, boy. So, I'm going to end it. You'll see it right now, Saturday morning.
The Fat Boy Crew's gonna
But this
need a
is
loaf.
really Friday night at 8 p.m. So, yes, it is definitely worth it. And it was not a lot of work. It was just those resting periods and a few tips that my mind said. So I thank you guys for sending me over to Grain and Grits. I don't know her name, but hats off. And to Bread Beckers. And I took 2 recipes. I made it into a lippy recipe. And it worked for us. So, as always, stay safe, stay well, and God bless.
God bless.